Well, Micah, welcome to the show. It's great to visit with you.
Hey, thanks. Glad to be here.
Yeah, my pleasure. My pleasure. So, big fan of Oklahoma hunting. Uh, I'm on my second lease that I've had there over the last decade, and there was a gap in between. But um, your state is really an underrated sportsman's paradise.
Thank
Um,
you. We love it here, and we know we have lots of Texans coming up to see us. So yeah,
oh
thank
yeah,
you.
yeah, and not just for deer. I mean, for waterfowl and uh, well, mostly for I would say for waterfowl.
Yeah, I think
Uh,
the waterfowl, the secret is out. So when I started hunting waterfowl 20 plus years ago, it was didn't have any non-residents, but we certainly do now. So
yeah. Well, so what I really wanted to talk about is the recent price increase for non-resident hunters. And it was already expensive. I'm not gonna lie. You could come to Texas and pay your $315 and hunt 4 months of deer season, essentially, right? Uh, like I said, I've been hunting in Oklahoma a while, and it typically was up until this year was $300 if I wanted to archery hunt. It was if I wanted to participate in muzzleloader season, another $300, and then if I wanted to rifle hunt, another $300. So $900 if you wanted to take advantage of all opportunities. I usually did bow and rifle, so $600. Okay, it's expensive, but I never really complained about that. And I didn't see a lot of other people, complaining about it really either. But the price just went up to $501 per season. And correct me if I'm wrong, but then you also have to buy a qualifying license before you can purchase one of those season
yeah,
tags.
yeah, that's a big change for sure.
And that's what, 200 ish dollars.
Yeah, I think so. I'm still not as up on the new license prices probably as it should be, but yeah, I think that sounds about right.
Okay, so from 300 to let's just say $700 if you want to bow hunt, and then if you
Right.
want to bow and rifle hunt, and don't even do muzzleloader, then you're basically $1,200. I've seen a lot of griping going on, like, "Hey, this is pricing us out," and I think there are, especially guys that maybe hunt public land that don't have leases that go up to Oklahoma. It's like, God, now I'm $700 to go archery hunt on public land. That's expensive. Younger guys like college aged kids, those are the ones that I feel like I'm just gonna have to hunt Texas now. And I don't know, maybe that was the goal. Maybe you're like smiling because you're like, yes, they're not coming.
Yeah.
And I don't think that's your mentality, but I know a lot of Oklahoma residents probably feel that way.
Yeah, it is expensive. And just to back up here a little bit, we haven't had any significant license changes in about 20 years, actually about
Uh-huh.
21 years. So we were in this license modernization package. What we were trying to do is a couple things. One is to simplify it because it had gotten so complicated over the years. It was really hard, especially for residents, to figure out what they needed. It was kind of like I call it lasagna. It was just layer after layer after layer. And next thing you know, you've got it's a barrier to go hunting in Oklahoma because you just didn't know what you needed. So we took about 50 different licenses and got them down to 13 licenses. And we put non-residents and residents on equal footing when it comes to everybody needs a hunting license, residents and non-residents. Before, like you mentioned, non-residents didn't need a hunting license; they just needed a deer license, and that was combined. So, so one thing was to simplify it. That happened, and the other part of this was to raise some funds. The price of everything has gone up for the last 20 years, except the price of hunting licenses. So that was another key part of this, and it's really hard to compare apples to apples when you look at different state fish and wildlife agencies. Uh, like Texas gets some legislative funds. We don't get any state tax appropriations. In Missouri and Arkansas, they have different funding models. We're probably more closely related to Kansas as a funding model. So all of our money that goes to all the wildlife conservation comes from two sources. That's hunting and fishing license sales, and a big part of that is non-residents, and excise taxes on hunting and fishing equipment,
Right. Pittman Robertson
PR and Dingle
dollars.
Johnson dollars.
Uh-huh. Okay.
So um, I forget what your original question was, but that's a little backup of kind of how we got to where we are right now.
Yeah. So the goal is to increase revenue.
That was one big part of it. Yeah, it was twofold: make it simple and increase revenue.
Okay. So trying to keep non-residents from coming was not part of the
No, no, no.
equation.
We love non-residents. We hope they keep coming. We realize that it's more expensive and is going to make folks from Texas and Kansas and our neighbors in New Mexico, take a hard look at, hey, is this worth it? We
Mhm.
think it is. We think we're a top 10 deer hunting state, and we hope they keep coming. So yeah.
Okay. Well, some of the folks on social media were from the opposite side of the fence. Oklahoma residents were like, "Gosh, this is long overdue," and their take. Some of it was like, "Hey, our public land's overcrowded now with Texas folks," and the other side of the equation was, "Hey, I can't find a lease because Texans are leasing it all up and they're paying more. Now maybe this will, drive that market down a little bit." Where Texans will stop leasing and we can get an affordable lease again.
Yeah, in all the license discussion with legislators, keeping non-residents out or dampening their enthusiasm for coming is never part of it.
Mm-hmm.
What we want to do as a state fish and wildlife agency is figure out what's the maximum opportunity we can provide to residents and non-residents, um, in such a way that it doesn't hurt the population. We don't kill
Right.
too many deer, kill too many ducks, and that the areas, the properties that we have can sustain it. So, this is not really a straight biological issue. We don't worry about, we've got laws and regulations in place to make sure that people, as long as they obey bag limits, we're not worried about people shooting too many deer
Yeah.
or turkeys or anything else like that. There is some real pressure on public hunting areas though, especially in the southern part of the state. There's more people that live in the DFW area than live in all of Oklahoma combined.
Yeah.
So, we've got a great resource and people keep coming. I certainly understand that.
Yeah. I mean, I live in DFW and
Yeah,
my lease in Oklahoma is 2 hours closer than my lease in Texas.
yeah,
Right. I
yeah,
mean, like,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. And we've got we got 1 million acres of public hunting areas, and we're real proud of that. And but that's like maybe 2.5% of the population of the land mass.
Mm-hmm.
So while we've got a lot of areas, in the grand scheme of things, it's not much. And when you put more and more people on a smaller area, there can be conflicts.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah.
but again, we certainly don't want to dampen anyone's enthusiasm to come up, but we are trying to make it closer to the market. What what states around us are charging, especially ones that have similar funding models that we do.
Is there?
Uh,
I don't know that there is one that's as expensive now. Say, and I'm saying if you wanted to hunt all the seasons now, if you just wanted to do rifle, maybe I don't know what Iowa or Illinois charge, but it's probably $400 or $500.
yeah,
I don't
so
know when you add that qualifying the hunting license in. I don't know if there's anybody that's charging $700 to deer hunt.
yeah, in Kansas it's $782.
Okay.
Um, in Oklahoma now it's $708.
Uh-huh.
Um, yeah, it's $208 for that license,
Okay.
for that hunting license. Now, I don't know how it would graph out when you start, if you were to hunt every season, but most non-residents um, come here for deer gun season. They take one buck or no bucks,
Uh-huh.
um, because not everybody's successful, and then they go back home. There's not as many folks like you who have leases or even own property.
Yeah.
But we did some as best you can to apples in Oklahoma now. It's $708 for if you want to be a deer gun hunter. In Kansas, it's 782. In Nebraska, it's 707. Iowa, it's 644. That's how much it would cost in Oklahoma to go there.
Mm-hmm.
Ohio, it's $642. So, we're in that neighborhood,
But then
on the upper
if
end
you
of the
wanted to
neighborhood.
hunt 2 seasons though, that's when it gets super like, wow, now you're into the next stratosphere of and people
Yeah,
are like, well, this isn't an elk we're talking about. This is a white-tailed deer,
right.
right? And you
Yeah,
can kill 6 of them on your Oklahoma license. So then that gets for me like $1,200. Do I now I'm weighing? Do I really want to archery hunt or do I want to gun hunt? If I have to pick one, and then I think
right.
about lost revenue for Oklahoma. Like now, if I'm only doing gun season, well, that means forget all of the trips to Tractor Supply and gas stations and
Right.
restaurants and all that other. That's lost revenue for the state if I'm only coming for one 10-day season or whatever it is compared to I might come 15 times for archery season and stop every time I'm there.
Yeah, many folks are gonna have to choose whether when you're non-residents, do you
Yeah.
wanna hunt gun season or archery season? Cause it
Mm-hmm.
does get expensive to do both. Of
Yeah.
course, with archery, you can take all the deer and you can take 6 deer a year. And with the rifle, you can take 4 deer a year. So,
Yeah.
if you're hunting in different parts of the state anyway.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, that's um, hunting is a big economic driver in Oklahoma. So, we took this pretty seriously. We don't want to do anything that um, keeps keeps hunters from coming, but we also need to um, keep money coming in so we can manage these species, so we can do the research, so we can provide the access. So
Yeah.
that's a spot where we were in.
I wonder if it will have the desired effect if people say they drop one of their seasons. Well, then that's you know less money, but then you add the license, so it's like almost like I guess maybe $100 more this way.
Yeah, I mean, that's it remains to be seen. We're gonna be watching it super close over this next year, and it's probably gonna take another full year till we really see, because so many people, non-residents, bought licenses at the end of June.
Uh-huh.
Um, Residents and non-residents both bought hunting licenses, deer licenses before the price went up. So it's gonna be a little skewed this year, but probably that next year we'll really be able to see um, uh, hey, how many people keep coming and what the revenue is. So,
Okay. Okay.
yeah,
Um, you said earlier like most non-residents come and maybe shoot a buck, maybe they don't. I This is my third year on this lease I have right now, and I haven't shot a deer on it.
yeah,
So it's
yeah,
not like people are like, well, you can kill. They were trying to tell me like monetarily, well, 6 deer is worth this amount of money, and I'm like, I'm going to Oklahoma to shoot 1 buck, man. I don't,
right,
I could shoot does all day at my Texas place. I don't. It's not. That's not why I'm going there for the venison, right? I
yeah,
mean, that's a byproduct of it, sure. But I'm trying to
right,
find a mature buck. That's what I'm
yeah,
looking for. That's why I
yeah,
leased the place. And if I don't have one on camera, then I'm probably gonna focus my interest elsewhere.
right,
So,
yeah,
um,
yeah. And in that aspect, residents and non-residents, there's not a big difference.
not not all
Most
Oklahomans are out
hunters,
there shooting their 6 deer.
right, yeah,
Yeah.
most hunters don't shoot 6 deer, especially with archery.
Yeah.
It's a fraction of 1% of people that actually do that. So,
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
um, but the opportunity is there. So we realize for the most part, when we're talking about these seasons, it's 1 deer. People are typically after 1 deer, maybe two.
Yeah. What about youth hunters? Did that price change?
I should have studied up on this a little more before I got on the call here, but it did. So the biggest change um for resident youth was there's a super license. So you buy one. You look up the price on that. You're gonna make me put on my glasses here. Yeah, so that resident youth super hunting license is $26. And
Okay.
so they can hunt anything they don't, anything they want to go on. It's basically like a 1 year lifetime license is kind of how we're describing it.
Yeah.
So for non-resident youth, and that's everybody under 17 and under, it's $151. So same kind of thing. That's they can come up here and hunt all the deer, all the turkey, bear, antelope, everything for $151.
Okay. So not terrible there.
Yeah, so we certainly want to, keep youth in the game, obviously.
Yeah. And then waterfowl?
Waterfowl, you need a $208 annual license.
Right.
So you cannot use it. There is a 5-day license, non-resident license, but that's not eligible for turkey, deer, or any of the big game and
Mhm.
waterfowl. So you'll need a $208 license. And then your waterfowl permit is still, let me look it up here. Yeah, still just $21.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
yeah, so it would be 230, call it $230 to come up here and duck hunt.
Okay. Right on.
Yeah.
Right on. Well, cool. I just wanted to get you on. It was it's been a point of contention from both sides of the fence. Like Oklahomans cheering, keep those Texans out. I know as a wildlife agency, that's not your goal, right?
No,
You're not.
no, we love all the Texans to come up here and spend your money and we think we've got a good resource and we love coming and hunting in other states. So we understand that there's a push-pull always when it comes to residents and non-residents, but
Yeah.
keep on coming up here for sure.
Right on. Right on. Well, hey, thanks for the clarity and the time. Certainly appreciate it, and I hope that you have a good fall.
Yeah, thanks, Abel.
All right. Take care.
Bye.